Right, okay. Welcome to my second workshopy thing. I'm going to do a simple little seascape tonight. All I've done by way of preparation is I'll put a low down horizon line. I think I'm going to put a low headland over there, a bit of a cliff coming down that side, some rocks over here, and a sweep of beach. But it might change as I go along. The whole point of this is, if there's the lesson I'm going to try and teach you is simplicity. How you can make something simple but effective. So let's just soggy up the sky. There's a very, very, very small hint of yellow ochre in that sky. And I'll put an added bit more low down. It's going to be a big sky, so I'll have quite a bit going on. Into that, a dash of light red. Sort of shades of evening coming in. Ultramarine at the top. And just a touch of alizarin creeping in at the sides. I'm going to put in. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take out some clouds. Now they look a little bit windswept because I want them to. That'll all dry out a bit better. The base of these clouds, we've got alizarin and ultramarine. I'm just making a sort of darky base to them, a little bit stormy-fied. some more blue into the mix. I want some distant clouds just hovering over the horizon. A bit hard, damp brush. Okay, that's that. Now, raw umber, ultramarine, touch of alizarin. Now, just on the horizon, don't know if the back of my head was in there then. Not a pretty sight if it was. Right, into that, dry out the brush and just put some little highlighty things. Right, there we go. Distant headland, Mark II. Now, that's dry, so I'm going to mix that sap green. It's not supposed to be sap green, it's supposed to be hookers. But we'll try it with that. Ultramarine. So we've got ultramarine and green, and I want it fairly thin. Now, bit green, but it doesn't matter, it'll dry peely-wallier. On top of that, got ultramarine on its own. Now, damp brush, just pulling out here and there. Notice here I've left some flecky bits of white just to give the impression of sparkles. So there we go. There's a raggedy edge on that side which I don't mind about because that is going to be covered over by my cliff. Just letting that go off a little bit. While I'm waiting for everything else to dry, clean up this green, which looks much more like a field than a sea. And still with my big brush, I'm going to use a colour which is called Sand. It's actually a Charles Evans colour. Put some of that and mix in a touch of the yellow ochre. And all I'm going to do with that is put in a sweep. Which I want to come there we go. Now I've left a whitey bit there because that will be sort of reflection water. I'm not over happy with the sky, but it'll have to do. Now, are you dry? Not bad. Mix up a nice dark colour, raw umber, ultramarine, touch of alizarin, and a lumpy bumpy thing there, which I shall bring a little bit further round here. Pull out the base. Right, now credit card. Right, I'm going to put some darks on top of there and do that again when that's dry. That's sort of the underneath for that bit. Now, using my rigger, I'm going to put an edge to the sea, ultramarine, touch of yellow ochre, touch of the umber, and water is actually three-dimensional, so I just put a little edge to it. Where that joins in there, get some light red. And pull that away slightly for that wet sand that you get by the end. Using a round brush, just soften that edge and fade it into the beach. Now I want to do this bit here. Use my little square brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. The ochre. Some of the blue. No, I just used the ochre to start with. I don't want it too thick, but here is where the beach is visible through the edge of the sea. Keep it nice and thin. And don't make it too solid because this is moving water. Wait for that to dry. Do some more on the beach up here. Nice thick mix of the ultramarine. We'll put a touch of lemon yellow into it. So I want this to be a proper greeny green, because what I'm going to do is drop in just with the corner of this square brush. A sort of high tide mark. Right, now on this side, still with the square brush, I'm going to have rocks coming over here, so I need to mix up sort of grey colour. So there is my sand colour, mix into that the raw umber and the ultramarine. Actually, now remember, this is like this is the underneath, the lighter shades of the rocks over this side. Credit card, some texture into there. Now, that's dry. I need very, very thick, dark, blacky colour. I think that's Payne's Grey. And the ultramarine. There, and that's really gloopy and thick. Going it on top of there. And this bit in the front. This is your dark shadows, or it will be. There's that. And credit card again. And we're scraping out where the light hits these. There we go, big lump of rock on that side. This side should be dryish. Mix up some more of my dark. And again, Okay, just a little bit more of the black. Into the corner. Come here, credit card. Pardon me. I love to be able to do that with a credit card. It gives them a whole reason for existing. So we don't work to spend money with my credit cards, so it's nice that I can use them for something. Right, my blue. Nice and thin, and I'm just going to lay it on top, very pale. It's not very clean. There we go, that's that. Some light red. And yellow ochre. Just up here. Above the high tide mark. There's that. If I want to, I can drop in the odd rock into that. Use a little round brush. Get some of this really dark colour. And hither and then put some texture onto the beach. And that is pretty much that. Couple of birds. And I shall call that one quits. Okay, I'll get a little there we have it. Simple seashore or something of that ilk. I think I just need to soften the bottom of those black clouds a little bit. Just a damp brush. And there you go, that'll do. Right. Now here's the finished picture, standing up. It's got its little mount on it, and you can see it's very simple, very straightforward. Just the yellowy base to the sky, ultramarine top, pull out some clouds with a brush, drop in some darker clouds, the little bit of headland at the back, yellowy green at the back coming forward to your bluey green, just a sweep of yellow ochre for the beach, drop in some light red afterwards, then your headland is just a scraped out black paint on top of lighter paint, and the same for these rocks in the foreground here. Very simple, reasonably effective. Everybody can tell what it is. It's a good practice piece. And don't forget your greeny bits on the beach for your high tide. I was thinking about putting a couple of people and a dog walking about on there, but it's getting the proportion right that's the problem. So I won't bother, as it's a teaching video. A couple of birds in the sky to give it a bit of light, and there you go. Shoreline or something similar. Have a go at doing it, should be quite fun. As I said, I'll get everything else out to you. Bye bye for now.